Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air from Philadelphia. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump on the eve of their high-stakes first debate right here in the National Constitution Center. The first time ever they'll meet face-to-face. Also tonight here, we remember an acting legend, James Earl Jones. First tonight, Vice President Harris arriving in Philadelphia just a short time ago. The vice president locked in debate prep for days, holding mock debates. In a new interview that aired today, the vice president saying former President Trump is, quote, not burdened by telling the truth. Tonight, how Donald Trump is preparing in these final hours, and the new poll just out tonight showing this presidential race is a dead heat. Mary Bruce, Rachel Scott, and Rick Klein on this new poll just in, all here in Philadelphia tonight. The news breaking late today, legendary actor James Earl Jones has died, one of America's most distinguished performers, a powerful presence on stage and screen.
No, I am your father.
The voice that defined one of the greatest villains in movie history, Steve Osunsami, with the tributes coming in. Also tonight, Tropical Storm Francine gaining strength. The storm expected to become a hurricane tonight as it now takes aim at the U.S. Ginger Z with the new track. The wildfire emergency at this hour, thousands of evacuations outside Los Angeles. Flames burning across more than 20,000 acres. Dozens of large fires burning in the west. Tonight, the urgent manhunt for a highway sniper suspect along Interstate 75. Several people shot and wounded. The alarming text authorities say he sent moments before he opened fire. Tonight, one of the police officers involved in the arrest of Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill, now on administrative duty. Hill pulled over and placed in handcuffs on the side of the road just hours before playing in the first game of the season. The deeply moving moment at today's memorial service for hockey brothers Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau, what Johnny Gaudreau's wife revealed during the service. Tonight, the return of Monday Night Football, the Jets' Aaron Rodgers taking the field for the first time since suffering that season-ending injury. The new host behind the wheel, Ryan Seacrest, makes his debut tonight on Wheel of Fortune. And Princess Catherine and her moving message tonight amid her battle with cancer. Millions reacting to what she said.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. Reporting tonight from Philadelphia.
Good evening tonight from Philadelphia. We are here at the National Constitution Center where tomorrow night ABC News will host the first presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. In a new interview that aired today, the vice president saying former President Trump is, quote, not burdened by telling the truth. The former president holding a rally in Wisconsin over the weekend, then meeting with his team informally, he says, at Mar-a-Lago. But our team learning tonight he is preparing for this debate. Tonight, here are the new numbers, where this race stands in the battlegrounds, too. ABC's Mary Bruce leading us off right here in Philadelphia.
Tonight, with just 24 hours to go until their highly anticipated showdown, Vice President Kamala Harris setting off for Philadelphia, where tomorrow, for the first time, she will come face-to-face with former President Donald Trump.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
In a new radio interview, Harris says she's ready for whatever Trump throws her way.
There's no floor for him in terms of how low he will go. And we should be prepared for that. We should be prepared for the fact that he is not burdened by telling the truth.
For days now, the vice president has been hunkered down in this Pittsburgh hotel, intensely preparing. Her team even building a stage with full TV lighting to hold mock debates. Harris leaning on several advisors who helped prep Hillary Clinton for her 2016 debate against Trump, including one who played the role of the former president in rehearsals. But Harris also taking breaks to get out in this critical state, in a Pittsburgh spice shop greeting one voter who was in tears.
Come here! What is that about? What is that about? I think you understand. I'm pretty sure you know.
Oh, it's going to be good. We're going to be good. We're going to be fine.
Harris perhaps previewing her message for the debate.
Look, it's time to turn the page on the divisiveness. It's time to bring our country together, chart a new way forward.
While Harris has been largely off the trail since Thursday, Trump over the weekend holding a rally in battleground Wisconsin.
She will be the worst president, and Trump is never wrong. I am never, ever wrong.
The former president trying to set expectations.
Is anybody going to be watching?
And spin the debate before it even happens.
You know, if I destroy her in the debate, they'll say, Trump suffered a humiliating defeat tonight, no matter what.
So let's bring in Mary Bruce. She's live here in Philadelphia. Mary, I know you've been talking to your sources inside the Harris campaign. What's her strategy heading into this debate tomorrow night on ABC?
Well, David, Harris is certainly an experienced debater, but her campaign is quick to note that this is fundamentally different. This will be Trump's 7th presidential debate. It will be Harris's first. Her goal here tomorrow night will be to highlight her positions on the issues and then pivot to put the spotlight on Trump, reminding voters of his record, to counter what the campaign is describing as Trump amnesia. And yes, David, she will try to get under his skin. The challenge for Harris to bait him without being baited herself. David.
Mary Bruce leading us off here in Philadelphia. Mary, thank you. Let's get right to ABC's Rachel Scott, also here at the National Constitution Center. Rachel, President Trump always says he's not one for formal debate prep, but your sources telling you he is, in fact, preparing.
Yes, David, I'm told that Donald Trump is taking this very seriously and that he knows just how consequential this debate, this moment will be. The former president, I'm told, has held nearly half a dozen informal policy sessions with advisors, including with former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who challenged Harris on the debate stage back in 2019. Also involved in his debate prep, Congressman Matt Gaetz. We are told that Gaetz is firing off questions at Trump on some of the tougher topics, including his stance on abortion and also his legal issues. We're also told that the former president has been briefed on Harris's past debates, including one with his own former vice president, Mike Pence, and that notable exchange where Pence tried interrupting Harris and Harris shut him down, saying, "I'm speaking." I'm told the former president has privately said he won't let that happen to him, David.
Rachel Scott with us tonight as well. Rachel, thank you. And tonight, with 24 hours to go before this historic debate, the new polls just in. Let's get right to our political director, Washington Bureau Chief Rick Klein, also here at the Constitution Center. And Rick, these two new national polls essentially show a dead heat. And what are you seeing?
David, recent polls show a tight race is getting even tighter by some measures. The latest poll from Pew among registered voters, an exact tie, 49-49, and a New York Times Siena poll out just yesterday had a 2-point edge among those same registered voters for Donald Trump. This is after weeks of Harris momentum. It appears to have dissipated going into the debate. And when you drill down on the battleground states, you see a very close race across the spectrum. The two strongest states for Harris right now, Wisconsin and Michigan. But check this out. Pennsylvania, the state we're in right now, less than 1 percentage point separating the candidates, just underscoring the stakes tomorrow night, David.
Of course, Pennsylvania, a must-win battleground for both campaigns. I know, Rick, you were also digging into the numbers in this New York Times Siena poll. There's a striking number in there that speaks to how crucial this debate could be for Vice President Harris in particular.
David, this really jumped out at me. People were asked how much they know about the candidates now, and guess what? Almost a third of voters say they need to learn more about Kamala Harris, 28%, before they can make their decision to vote. That compares to Donald Trump, 90%, 9 in 10 voters say they know enough about him to make a decision. Again, putting some extra pressure on Kamala Harris tomorrow night. David?
Rick Klein with us here tonight as well. Rick, thank you. The ABC News presidential debate just 24 hours away. Vice President Kamala Harris, former President Donald Trump. They'll be right down on the floor here, this stage behind me. This is a very intimate setting here in this room. No audience. They will meet for the first time right here in the hall. I'll be moderating with our Lindsay Davis. Of course, that debate right here on ABC, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. We continue with the other news tonight to the tropical storm Francine, just forming in the Gulf and growing stronger, set to become a hurricane as it takes aim at the U.S. Take a look at the satellite image tonight of Francine taking shape, likely a hurricane tomorrow, heading for landfall on Wednesday. Mandatory evacuations already in place where hurricane and storm surge warnings have already been issued tonight. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with the latest forecast for us. Hi, Ginger.
Hi, David. Sabine passed to Morgan City, Louisiana on hurricane warning. Lafayette, hurricane watch. Baton Rouge and New Orleans in a tropical storm watch. You pointed out that satellite. It's got its center. It's moving north-northwest at 7, but a trough is going to push it east of most of coastal Texas and bring it right toward Louisiana. You could still see those outer bands, some rain on the very coastal parts of Texas, but I want to time it out for you and talk about the impacts because it's going to be #1 storm surge. Most of the coastal, especially southwestern Louisiana, under a warning for 5 to 10 feet. You see the timing there? That's tomorrow night. You're already starting to see the outer bands whip at Cameron there. But then you get it closer by Wednesday, 6 a.m. You could see rain, and we're talking 4 to 8 inches widespread, locally up to a foot. Some of the wind gusts could easily top 75 miles per hour. You see it right there at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. New Orleans getting some of the heftiest bands. Everybody east, right, in that dirty side of the storm, David, will be watching really carefully. But that inland rain could be a problem, too, all the way up to Tennessee.
All right, we'll continue to track it with you, Ginger. We'll see you first thing in the morning. Thank you. We are also tracking the wildfire emergency in Southern California tonight. Evacuations outside Los Angeles. At least 67 major fires burning in the West, in fact. One of them, the bridge fire, right there in Los Angeles County. Firefighters running from the flames. The line fire east of LA, so explosive it's creating its own weather pattern, dangerous winds and thunderstorms. Mola Lenghi on the fire lines tonight.
Tonight, new evacuation orders east of Los Angeles as the line fire burns out of control in San Bernardino County, threatening some 36,000 homes, businesses, and buildings.
More than 12,000 people have already been ordered to flee. Thousands more told to be ready here in San Bernardino County as the fire continues to spread. You see the massive plumes of smoke billowing in the air.
Governor Newsom declaring that state of emergency as the fire exploded in size. Triple-digit temperatures adding literal fuel to the fire, creating pyrocumulus clouds and lightning strikes that could start new fires.
When the thunderstorms roll through, they have the potential to blow the fire out in multiple different directions, so we just have to be ready for that.
In Los Angeles County, the bridge fire breaking out Sunday. Firefighters forced to retreat from the flames. And in Northern California, an all-out aerial assault on the Boyles Fire in Clear Lake, but not before it destroyed 30 homes and dozens of vehicles.
Well, David, you can see how the heat from the fire melting the fence line there behind me. The line fire just 3% contained tonight. Excessive heat warnings are in effect, and firefighters really concerned about thunderstorms and dry lightning going into tonight, David.
Mola Lenghi with us tonight. Mola, thank you. We're going to turn now to the sad news that came in late today, the passing of legendary actor James Earl Jones. Tonight, we remember his long and distinguished career and, of course, that voice. Here's Steve Osunsami.
James Earl Jones had a way about him as an actor and as a performer that was truly galactic. He is perhaps best known for lending his voice to one of the greatest villains in the history of cinema.
No, I am your father.
It was Jones who made the character of Darth Vader in the Star Wars films delightfully menacing.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
But Jones had a successful career that stretched decades earlier and was one of those rare artists who've won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Now, I didn't give you everything I had to give you. I gave you your life.
One of his Tony Awards was for his Broadway performance in the play Fences, a story about a black working-class father struggling to provide for his family in 1950s America. He told us in 2014 how he prepares when he takes the stage.
We yell at the seats.
You yell at the empty seats.
Yeah.
In Coming to America, a comedy that became a cultural moment, Jones was the king of Zamunda.
Let them wait. I'm talking to my son.
And in Disney's Lion King, he was the king of the jungle.
Remember who you are.
James Earl Jones was born in Mississippi and overcame a stutter as a child. He would go on in movies like Field of Dreams to deliver some of the most iconic lines in storytelling.
Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
The tributes are pouring in from across the world, including from actor Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars films, and from other black actors who say that Jones is the reason they got into the business. Jones died this morning at his home in New York, surrounded by family. He was 93 years old. David?
An acting giant with a tender heart. Steve Osunsami, thank you. To the other news now, and we move on to the urgent manhunt for a highway sniper suspect. 5 people wounded on a Kentucky interstate. Schools closed, people urged to stay inside. The alarming text authorities say he sent just before he allegedly opened fire. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, now.
Tonight, the urgent manhunt for the man suspected of being the sniper who fired at drivers along this busy stretch of highway in Kentucky.
The victims have been shot through the windshield.
An hour southeast of Lexington, schools in 9 districts shut down as police search for 32-year-old Joseph Couch, thought to be hiding in this thick, dense forest.
This is thousands and thousands of acres. It's kind of like a jungle.
Couch considered armed and dangerous, now facing charges of assault and attempted murder. According to an arrest warrant, minutes before the shootings, Couch, a former Army reservist, sent a text to a woman saying he was going to kill a lot of people. Police believe on Saturday evening, Couch was perched in the woods, firing 20 to 30 shots, hitting 12 vehicles. 5 people wounded by gunfire. No fatalities, but at least one person shot in the face and another in the arm. Police say this is Couch's vehicle recovered near the attack. And they say they discovered an AR-15 style assault rifle close by in the woods. Police say Couch purchased that assault rifle the same day as the attack, along with more than 1,000 rounds of ammunition. Police worry he may have access to other guns. David?
Pierre Thomas with us tonight. Pierre, thank you. We turn now to that legal victory tonight for the suspect charged in the Idaho college murder case. The judge agreeing to move the trial out of Moscow, Idaho, where the 4 students were stabbed to death in November of 2022. The judge agreeing with Brian Koberger's defense that there is a, quote, reasonable likelihood that prejudicial news coverage will compromise a fair trial. The trial is set for June of next year. The Idaho Supreme Court will now decide where it will take place. Next tonight here, one of the police officers involved in the arrest of Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill is now on administrative duty tonight. Video of the incident showing Hill being pulled over and placed in handcuffs on the side of the road just hours before playing in the first game of the season. Police citing Hill for reckless driving and driving without a license. Hill later insisting he wasn't speeding and that he didn't say anything offensive to police. Police body camera video now part of the investigation. When we come back on this Monday night, those 2 hockey brothers killed by an alleged drunk driver, the deeply personal moment today at the memorial service, what John Gaudreau's wife revealed. And Princess Catherine and her very moving message tonight amid her battle with cancer, millions deeply moved by her words tonight. Tonight, the deeply personal message from the wife of hockey star John Gaudreau. He and his brother were killed by an alleged drunk driver in Salem County, New Jersey, while riding bikes the day before their sister's wedding. At today's memorial service, John Gaudreau's wife, Meredith, revealing the moment she told her husband that their family of 4 was about to become a family of 5.
I'm in my 9th week of pregnancy with our 3rd baby. A total surprise, but again, John was beaming and so excited.
The brother, Matthew Gaudreau, his widow, is also pregnant. 2 new babies on the way amid so much grief for that family. When we come back tonight, we have just learned tonight about the loss of a New York sports legend. To the index, and we learned today that legendary Mets player Ed Kranepool has died after going into cardiac arrest. Debuting with the franchise in 1962, helping the Miracle Mets win the World Series back in '69, Ed Kranepool was 79. A new era for Wheel of Fortune tonight. New host Ryan Seacrest making his debut tonight alongside Vanna White, succeeding longtime host Pat Sajak after more than 40 years on the show. And Monday Night Football is back. The Jets taking on the 49ers in San Francisco just a short time from now. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers making his return 8 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC and, of course, ESPN. When we come back here tonight, the new and moving message from Princess Catherine tonight. Finally tonight here, Princess Catherine reaching a milestone in her battle with cancer. Tonight, the deeply personal message released by Catherine, Princess of Wales. Her voice narrating a video with her family, Prince William, and their 3 children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, together in the countryside. Princess Kate revealing she has completed chemotherapy for cancer after sharing her diagnosis with the world just 6 months ago.
As the summer comes to an end, I cannot tell you what a relief it is to have finally completed my chemotherapy treatment. Life as you know it can change in an instant, and we've had to find a way to navigate the stormy waters and road unknown.
Is this filming?
Princess Catherine saying she's now doing what she can do to, quote, stay cancer-free.
Doing what I can to stay cancer-free is now my focus. Although I have finished chemotherapy, my path to healing and full recovery is long, and I must continue to take each day as it comes. I am, however, looking forward to being back at work and undertaking a few more public engagements in the coming months when I can.
Ending with a message of gratitude and a message of hope to all of those battling cancer.
To all those who are continuing their own cancer journey, I remain with you, side by side, hand in hand. Out of darkness can come light, so let that light shine bright.
Her moving message today, and the kids are grown up. The presidential debate tomorrow night, 9 p.m. right here on ABC from Philadelphia. I'm David Muir. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.